the amount of data that you have through this system. I know we talked about how this is helping grow business and gain clients. Let's talk more about that. Who wants to kick that off?
I can start. So I pulled some metrics, and our company was with another LPR platform prior. And when we made the switch, I looked at 1 year's worth of data prior to making the move to Insight LPR. And then I also took 1 year of data that we have with Insight LPR. And we have substantially grown our business as a result of Insight LPR. In fact, in that year over year, we grew our recovery rate an additional 17%. And then our overall repossessed cars in that next year rose by exactly 18%. So with that, we can go back to, and this kind of piggybacking off of what Patrick said, going to your favorite local credit unions and your small banks and stuff like that, you get the opportunity to educate them on what LPR is, and then you can kind of tell them and share with them like, hey, here's where we're at. This is our recovery rate over the last quarter, over the last month, or however long you choose to share. And then you can have those talks with them, because they're not always utilizing just All-Star in Colorado. They're using some of my other local competitors. So I get the opportunity to share with them, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's where I was at a year ago. This is the growth and the performance growth that I've shown for you. And that opens up, opportunities there of increased rates or getting, more market share allocation of their work. Whereas, I could ask for or earn more business from my current client, or bring on a new client based upon, performance that is driven by some of this historic data through Insight LPR.
And Ryan, if you're a top scanner in your market, now you can say that the information is proprietary to your company.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. And we can get into some of those other benefits too. I have some very, very strong reasons as to why, I did choose Insight over some of the other options that are out there. It's just been a real game changer for our business, utilizing Insight over some of the other platforms that are available.
Right. We want to get into that. Show of hands. Who here has used more than one LPR platform? Okay. So we have something to compare to. We don't want, the question's being asked. I'm going to read the question. Why Insight versus DRN? There's a question.
No contract.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Too. But I like the camera system is way better than before. You get such clarity. It's unreal.
Insight cameras are on a month-to-month lease basis. They're not, you don't have to purchase the cameras outright. In other words, you can purchase as many as you want or lease as many as you want per month. Another benefit of Insight is the data is not shared. The data that you glean is yours.
That is the number one reason that
Yes.
And I think that everybody here would probably say that that's a very big item going forward. That's different than others.
Guys, another cool benefit is you can share with your competitors if you want. Is this we make our own usernames and passwords. I have shared it with my competitor before.
That's
correct. Go see what it's all about. Give them login credentials.
But I guess, Shane, what I'm saying is it's up to you. You're in control.
No, I agree with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also goes back to the other item that I said is it's an immediate pickup. It's not a wait to get an okay to pick up your live hit if it's a live hit.
You know what I forgot, you guys? Lisa, did I hear you say that there was no contract? I think to clarify, I think you meant there's a no compete if you decide to leave. If I understand the contract correctly, there is a no compete while you onboarded with them and scan for them, but you could give them 30 days.
You can do the 30 days, right?
Yeah, but there's still a contract. Per se.
There's a contract.
I was going to get a call like, "What's this no contract thing, Lisa?"
That's true. There is a contract, but other LPR systems you have like a year or 2 year. This is a month to month. This is not.
There's also other benefits in the contract, like this thing somebody mentioned earlier. I think it was you. you can go bill your client a locate fee. I think other contracts are prohibitive.
Yes.
And if you do bill them, I think you have to kick back half. I don't know if that's the current contract, but that's what I understand in the past when I signed them. But wait, what? I can give it away, but I can't charge. And if I do charge, I have to give you half. It's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's some of the contract stuff is it's probably no secret. I did a show and I looked at some information. So what you just said means something to me. And just to talk about the contract briefly, is that there was the contract that I read, the contract information that I read and reported on, I believe said that if you got into that contract and wanted to get out of that contract, you had to wait 2 years before you used any other LPR technology. And if your business, if this is important to your business and you got to go 2 years without using any features like that, it sounds like that could really hurt your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're completely handcuffed if you're not able to use this industry tool and having somebody govern you in that way. Whereas with Insight, if you decide for any reason that it's just not for you or it's not benefiting your business for any reason, you just notify them and you just walk away from it. It's as simple as that.
Another positive with Insight that I'll say, and Ryan touched on it, Shane's touched on it some, is the customer service is great. They've came out, they've installed the cameras. We have called them with things. We've had to have a couple of cameras replaced that were faulty right after they installed them. They were awesome. We got a hold of them. They immediately talked to them and they handled everything immediately.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Danny Barsh. I mean,
Danny's awesome.
Beat me to it.
and quick plug for him and John and Oscar and Jennifer. But Danny, he's a mastermind. He's been out to my office multiple times, installed cameras. He's professional. You can call him any time of the day. He'll pick up the phone. Help troubleshoot if you have any issues. He knows all the answers, and it's just great customer service.
Yes.
Passionate. I think he's very passionate.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to mention too, and I've seen some different posts on different things. The Insight is fully integrated with RDN, ClearPlan, and everything. I've seen some conflicting stuff about that, but it does all those things. And I think a majority of the clients and a lot of the people use RDN and ClearPlan, at least in the recovery industry.
Jay, if we can answer your question, I don't remember ever hearing a 2-year deal. I remember a 1-year deal, but full disclosure, I haven't read a contract.
Is it one, not two? Okay.
I haven't read
so
one.
So one is how's one? Let's say you had to go with one. I might have been thinking of standard time.
I think it's one. Yeah.
So okay, good. That's better. How's one? What would it be like for your business to have to wait a year to go without LPR technology?
Still
you okay with that?
Still catastrophic to compete.
It's going to be hard, right?
For
How about
some
6 months?
Yeah, for some companies it would be like COVID to them.
Well, that's what 6 months sounds like forever, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a necessary tool really to scale your business no matter what size you're currently at. I mean, if you have goals to achieve and you're looking to achieve those, LPR is a very necessary tool to get you there. It would be absolutely crushing if you were used to using this type of technology to service your valuable clients, and then to go without it, it would just be absolutely devastating, as Shane mentioned, to not have this tool to use in our industry.
I guess we should clarify, right, guys? Like it would be catastrophic in the sense that we would lose scale and we have to maybe lay some people off. I've done it before a couple times. We've survived. We sustained 3 to 6 month rebuilding the database. Yeah, it's doable. A year, probably a heavier climb, but you're going to lose some scale. You're going to lose some volume.
So, I guess so. Let's say you say, okay, fine, we'll do 6 months. We'll lose employees and all these things just to get out of a contract. That's okay? You okay with that? Our business will suffer, right? Yeah. That's the thing. I can't. How about 30 days? Fine. 30 days, no LPR.
Jay, remember we talked about the historical database that we build that's more important than the live hits? You walk away from somebody you've been scanning for 2 years or 3 years or 10 years, you lose all of that too. So all the historicals you got to rebuild up. So that's what we're talking about, rebuilding the database.
Right. Well, and I understand you bought the equipment too, which now, is that useless?
Dick, I think, told you they can lease them. So they can just turn them back in.
Yeah,
He's talking
Insight
about
is different. You don't
Oh,
have to purchase the
But
equipment.
some other ones you might have to purchase, which is
Right.
now
That's correct.
a good paperweight.
Right.
Is that
Oh,
right?
It could
Yeah.
be a market to resell them, but I don't know what the value
I
is.
know it's tough, right? But I mean, this is how people really talk behind closed doors about things that make no sense at all, right? NADA had no problem pointing out how dumb the cars rule was. That was in my news. Well, this seems strange. And when I read it, it seemed strange to me then. It still seems strange to me now. But I like to try to find common ground. What could we agree on? Could we pull off 6 months? But you just mentioned all that historical. It's the whole thing, the whole enchilada is too much.
Well, the beauty behind Insight LPR is you don't really have to worry about that. If you want to leave the platform for any reason, you just notify them and you literally just walk away from it, and you're free to move elsewhere if you choose to do so. But I don't know why anybody that's used Insight LPR would ever think of leaving, because it's such a valuable tool, and they're, as Lisa had mentioned, their customer service and just everybody that you deal with they're so personable. They become friends of yours, and they're rooting for your success is bottom line with them. And I can't imagine leaving Insight, but if you really wanted to, you could walk away from it.
But here's the other part to that, Jay, is the other LPR systems, that historical data, you're not losing it. They've sold it to someone else down the street already.
Yep.
God, I just heard somebody tell me that they bought data for, I think it was $10 through, what is one of the skip sites, you guys, other than IDI or the other?
TLO or
Maybe TLO, I can't remember which one it was. They're literally buying the data off of one of those portals where they really commoditized it to the point it's hard to, like you said, charge the skip fee for it.
Right. So is that part of then you were talking about like owning the data, or however the best way to phrase it is, because you're making the investment of the lease of the cameras. You're putting in the man hours, the equipment, the time. So getting those LPR hits and building that database has a value to you and your company.
Very much.
yes.
And so that being just shared with everybody, even though you put in the time and the work, doesn't sit well. Is that right?
Jay, imagine, Jay, that you spend a ton of money on what you're getting the picture of what we do, and then Insight has something saying they don't sell to the financial sector, repossession market, forwarders, or they don't contractually. Am I right, guys? They don't sell to the
Correct. Nobody in auto finance.
Now imagine, Jay, if you're scanning plates and you see an advertisement that says use LPR data to avoid or thwart repossessions. Competitors of Insight have actually sold the data to collection companies as a way to try to use it to collect, to avoid repossession. Say they can use it to maybe verify that the cars are sitting at the given address. No need to repossess. Maybe they were teeter-tottering on trying to repossess a car, but you know what? The car is sitting at the given address. Cool. We'll continue to work with them. It's when you put in that much time and effort, and then it works against you. It's conflicting with what your goals are. For the company is like, well, I can see, but I don't profit from that. I get your point, and cool, they get to keep the car. I don't want to wish ill on anybody, but that's not really my business model.
Do you feel like this is something you learned over time that you didn't know up front or couldn't have understood up front, and then over time you come to realize, wait a minute, I'm doing all this work, but it's actually working against me. Now what do I do?
Well, at first, the LPR systems, none of them were sold to other people at first, and then it changed.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, in our local market, in the past, we put in a very heavy investment. You rattled off some of those, Jay. Fuel, your camera cars, the cameras themselves, payroll, everything that goes along with it. And then if your data gets, as Shane was saying, if somebody can buy that for $10, they don't have the investment that we had, but they can still exponentially grow their business off of our investment. So with Insight LPR, it's not a possibility for others to, kind of poach our hard-earned data in that manner.
How would somebody argue that it's their data and not yours to own? What would they say? Is that argument being made? Somebody must be saying that, right? There's got to be a conference or a golf course right now where somebody's making that argument.
Oh, I'm sure, because they're the ones who store it on the server. They're the ones who have. So I'm sure that they're saying that somewhere.
Or a golf course at a conference
Yes.
where somebody's saying that. Right.
Let me read you off of Insight's portal right now. Discovery agents. With Insight LPR, your data is your data, period. That's verbatim. I just read it off of their website. I don't think we literally own the data per se, but they're saying that you're going to have access to it. So I don't know. It's not really an argument or debate right now. But if we had to leave for some reason, but again, we say that they're willing to talk. When you talk to them, you don't feel like you're falling upon deaf ears. They're listening. So
I think where the heartburn has always come in the past, Jay, is that data was being sold while the folks that were gleaning it and cultivating it, it was kind of sold out from under them. And it was utilized, yes, for those people a little bit, but Insight's a very different model. Is, as Shane just said, your data is your data. It's not sold. You're using it for your purposes and to recover your vehicles, and you're the one out scanning. So that's the biggest thing that I see.
not sold in our markets. I have no doubt
Right.
Insight's going to be selling it. They got to prosper somehow, but as long as it's not conflicting with our business model, I guess.
It's 8 o'clock. It's time for final thoughts. And then we'll end the show, which is, it's going to be wonderful. So does I love a final thought from everybody. Anybody want to add something that wasn't touched upon? They want to be sure to leave the audience with this live video that becomes on demand and lives in perpetuity forever. And somebody that watches later goes, wow, I can't believe that was at the end of the show. That's what I needed to know.
I'm going to say this. If they are on the fence about LPR, give Insight a try. As I said, you have your 30 days. You can give them a 30-day notice and see what happens. Give it a month or two. See how it turns your business around. See what happens and what do you have to lose? The time to put the cameras on the truck or the car? Come on, give it a shot.
Worst case, you just end the lease, end the contract, give it all back, get
And you're
out of
done.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. That's not bad.
I'll throw in there that with Insight LPR, you have a true partnership with these guys. They listen to what you're saying. I don't know how many times John's called me and said, hey, we've got developers here. If there's something you'd like to see, let us know what it is. We'll try to build it out for you. They're just so overwhelmingly helpful. And again, it really comes down to the fact that they are truly rooting for our success. And I feel like me making the move to Insight LPR was one of the wisest business decisions that I've ever made in the 18 years that I've been doing repossessions.
I really have nothing else to say, Jay. I just covered all the topics that I had written down. Go Insight.
Go Insight! I like it. It's cool. All right, Aaron, Dick,
Yes.
and Patrick, you've got to say something.
I think Insight is trying to do the right thing for the recovery industry, and really has their ear to the ground, listening to the agents that are currently running the camera systems for them. And as everyone's mentioned, they're open to just any suggestion that you have, and any way to make it better. And that's the way talking to John and all the folks over at Insight, That's the impression that I get every time I talk to them.
Awesome.
I can't
awesome.
agree anymore.
Go Insight. Aaron gives the
That's
Go
right.
Insight.
Go Insight.
All right, Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, I would just echo what everybody else has already said. I mean, it's a great group of people that you want to do business with, and you know, give them a call. You don't have anything to lose. You'll find out pretty quickly that the customer service is you know, hands down some of the best that's in the industry. And like Dick said, you know, they really want to work with you, and the best interest, you know, in the agent is in their favor. So yeah, I would pick up the phone, call them tomorrow.
That's awesome. I've got reasonable contract, lease versus purchase, high quality cameras, great customer service, solid integrations, and you feel like you get a value from getting the data. You know, you have some level of ownership within that hard work of getting all that LPR data. So great job, panel. That was awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jay.
Thank you all so much. Really appreciate you taking your personal time on a Tuesday night on ATI Auto Business.
Thanks
And
for
I will
having
end
us.
the
Appreciate
meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks.
Go Insight. Okay. I ended the meeting with Go Insight. I think all meetings should be ended with Go Insight. And special thanks, John Armstrong. Thank you so much for helping me come up with a show that would, you know, be a nice context to how to tackle such an interesting topic. And thanks, everybody, for jumping in the live chat. Really appreciate it. It was really good. It's an important topic. It's not without its controversy. And there is a large amount of the recovery industry that I think in one way or another is interested in this topic. So if you want to talk about it more, let me know. You can send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Thanks, Justin. Yeah, I agree. Everybody, that was great. That was great. So, hey, I want to thank Superflow Systems, Murphy Auto Transport. I want to thank DRAIVER and everybody for tuning in. If you want to see a unique show, tune in to ATI. I'm very proud of the content happening here. It's not easy to put together. If you're interested in being part of the channel, let me know. You can go to ATIAutobusiness.com. Again, you can send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Put it in the live chat, put it in the comments below, share, like, tell your friends, subscribe, follow, and all that good stuff. I'm going to do this. I'm going to run the car hauler, but on Thursday, I want to leave you with this. On Thursday, we're going to learn about HaulX. And if you are interested in a TMS, I know, right? Another TMS. This one's awesome. You are going to love this live demo. Join us Thursday, noon Central Time for HaulX. Here comes the car hauler. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.